What's going on, folks? EJR here once again, and this is the first official ride of the 2019 ZX10R, which is the new customer build bike series. And this is essentially going to be just a test ride to get my thoughts on an all-stock 2019 ZX10R. And I'm also going to try and get some draggy pulls in. I won't be able to do very long races, but to be honest with you, this bike is fully restricted and it's not really worth it. It takes so much road to even get to 170 that it really just isn't worth trying to test out. I'll start worrying about that once I unrestrict it and tune it. For now, I'm just going to try and get some 60 to 130s, maybe kiss 140 if it's fast enough and I can use the road to do it, but I don't think it will be. Let's test out the quick shifter. Lazy. It works, but it is lazy, that's for sure. See, does it have auto blip factory? It does. Hey, the auto blip's actually pretty nice on this one. Activating it on the 16 to 18 for some reason is not smooth, and I do not know why. It's going to require some fine-tuning and a lot of time. I'll say this though, the throttle, the factory throttle settings are a lot better than the 16 to 18. I was expecting that ahead of time based off what I saw in the factory tune file in the throttle maps. That's something I definitely like better as a stock bike so far. Not that that's something that I don't change anyway when I flash a bike, but for the guy who's just buying a ZX10, the 2019 throttle is definitely better. Let's hope I don't get rained on right now, because in typical New England fashion, every day rains. Come on, you can make it by. I've got faith. Oh, come on. There you go. Good job. Driving is hard. So what I'm going to be doing with this bike for the early stages of it, be riding it just like it is, and then I'm going to tune everything you see here without changing any parts. I'm probably going to put a GPR stabilizer on it though. That's just safety related, because the stock one is terrible. But I'm going to do an all stock parts tune, so I'm going to flash it and unrestricted, and I'm going to actually tune it. So for the guy that wants his stock quiet bike but wants the tune to be a little bit stronger than just your typical lack of restrictions, I'll be doing that. Then my plan will be to put the full Acura exhaust on and the sprint filter, and then I'm going to tune that, and I'll get you some more. I'm going to be getting draggy data and GPS data on every setup I do. Man, the auto blipper is so much nicer on this bike. Oh, it's depressing. That is depressing. For me anyway, not for the 2019 guys. Auto blipper actually works on this bike. My goal is to film almost everything I do to the bike, which is going to be a little hard between time and operating cameras, so I'm going to try and get someone to help me with that stuff. Alright, we're getting on the highway here. Hopefully some of the roads are dry enough for me to actually make a few pulls. Roads look nice and wet. Fantastic. That's what I like to see. Yeah, with any amount of throttle, the quick shifter feels kind of trashy. It's not quick. It's what I would call a casual shifter. So if you have any amount of G being thrown on you from accelerating, and then you move the quick shifter, it unloads the bike and lurches you forward a little bit. And that's what I couldn't stand about the 16 to 18 bike, which is also why I shut the quick shifter off until about 8,000 RPM, and I just manually ride the bike. That's just kind of how I do it. Because if things don't work perfectly, I don't want them. Which is why I also turn auto blipper off on my bike as well, because it sucks. It's going to require a lot of tuning to get auto blipper dialed in perfect. This bike, it already seems to work out pretty good. Let's try it out. Oh, it's buttery smooth. god. Auto blipper is so nice, yet upshifting is terrible. Come on, Kawasaki. That wasn't wide open throttle, so there's still a little hope that maybe at wide open throttle and at high RPM it'll shift really fast and smooth, but I'm not really confident in that yet. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull over briefly. I'm going to set up the draggy. And I'm going to try and make some pulls even though these roads look a little wet. I won't be using first gear, obviously. I'm not trying to kill myself. Just try and rip up second gear a little bit. Connecting to draggy. This is a brief tutorial on how the app works. The draggy is an actual mechanical device that I usually put in the tail of a bike or in some convenient place where it won't, you know, go flying off the bike. And then it's controlled by an app on your phone. Now, according to this, we are ready. So now I just got to wait for a clearing and I'll be good to go. Alright, let's try a second gear hit here. Got one car up there, but I'll probably be letting out close to when I get near them. And here we go. I think I only hit 130 real speed according to that. 60 to 130 in 5:45. You guys saw all the bar end shake there too, right? Welcome to a shitty stabilizer. The key to not dying when that happens is to not lift off the throttle, and especially don't grab the brake. When it starts getting a little bit of head shake like that, just stay in it. That might be my only pull, to be honest with you. The quick shifter wide open throttle is still dog shit, so that part sucks. Kawi can't seem to get that right out of the factory. Damn, I can't believe we only hit 130 right there. If I GPS my bike on that road, I'll hit 150. Sometimes I can hit 160 if I'm a little ballsy. I probably could have hit 140 on this bike right there if I stayed in it a little longer, but the roads are wet and I just don't see a point to pushing the limit, especially on a customer bike. So stay safe, get the data I need, and to be honest with you, seeing how slow it is, 60 to 130, I don't really need to see anymore. It's a solid 2 seconds slower, 60 to 130, than the Bitch Ninja. Mind you, the Bitch Ninja does leave in first gear to do that, but this bike, the way it sits right now, wouldn't benefit from first gear anyway. It might go 530 instead of 540 and change, because even the Bitch Ninja only picks up 1/10 of a second starting in first gear. Second gear still moves out pretty good. Do I want to make another pull here? I don't even know if it's worth it. That's why I'm putting the stabilizer on it too, before I do any more testing. I may even have to strap it to get real data, at least a little bit. Not full strap it, so I'm taking advantage of the arrow on the top end, but you know, a little bit just to keep the nose a little more planted. Because this is stock, this bike is slow as shit, and it's still got light in the front end, hence the bar end shake. Restrictions absolutely kill this bike's performance, like, terribly. That's why I'm going to be doing, because what I did last time is I put a full system on it before I really tuned it with the stock exhaust. I just put a Euro map in it, which was unrestricted throttle, and that was about it. But unfortunately on the 2019 now the Euro maps are restricted as well. So there's really no benefit to go into a Euro map. It does restrict it a little bit less, and for those who don't know, it goes to about 35% throttle at 13.8. It's obviously tapering, it doesn't just shut to that, but the restrictions start at about 11,000 RPM. And for those of you who know how these bikes make power, if you're restricted from 11,000 RPM to redline, you're restricted the whole time you're in a race. Even when you come back into the next gear, you're making less power. I'm very happy about the auto blipper. They did make that a lot better. But unfortunately, the upshifting is still slow garbage trash. Which is all the more reason to send me the ECU or bike to make it not slow. Oh, look at the mileage. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be in the bike right now. That is not good mileage. Or maybe it's a good sign that this bike is going to be the devil for its competition. But I'm going to drive really carefully for the next mile or however it takes to get that to 667. Come on, 666. Let's go away now. Come on, 667. There it is, 667. We're good. The funny thing about the way the bike is set up from the factory with shifting it, you don't even need a shift light. The power falls off so abrupt and fast, you just know when to shift. I don't know if you guys have ever over-revved something way out of the power band, but that's what this thing feels like. But it happens all in an instant, so you just shift it. I could probably knock that 545 down to a 530, leaving in second gear, if I really wanted to spend some time with it and figure out what it likes. But as far as I'm concerned, that's a waste of my time, because what's the point of dialing in a bike that has all these restrictions and is slow as shit? It's still going to be slow after I figure out what it likes. So yeah, we'll call it a happy 5.4 60 to 130 on this bike. I used to remember when I thought a 5.4 60 to 130 was something really fast. Relatively speaking, it is fast, but at one point I used to think it was just fast. And now I get on a bike like this and I'm like, oh my god, it's so slow. It only went 5.4 60 to 130. I suspect I'll cut a solid second off 60 to 130 just from the flash and tune. I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up the first ride for this bike. I'll get back with you guys when I'm off the bike in just a second to give you my final thoughts on it. Alright folks, we're back at home base. What are my final thoughts on this bike? Well, for starters, I'd say it's definitely an improvement over the 16 to 18 bike in complete stock form. The auto blipper makes it a lot more enjoyable to ride around town. The upshifting still sucks. I don't know why Cowie can't seem to get a grasp on that. But other than that, riding the bike, it's enjoyable. The throttle's a little better. It's still a little twitchy on initial twist. Once you've gotten past that, the responsiveness is a lot better. It was real soft on the 16 to 18, and the throttle kind of did what it wanted. But overall, I'd say, yeah, it is a better bike for the 19, and I do approve of it, and look forward to really digging into it and seeing what it can do with what I specialize in, which is making these things go a hell of a lot faster. But that's going to go ahead and wrap this video up entirely. You know the drill. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you hated it, subscribe if you haven't, and if you already have subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon, because there's going to be a lot more videos coming with this bike. Alright guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.